Hi guys, in this part of the video, we're going to be connecting to MySQL database. These are all the files we created in our last video, and if you look closely, you'll notice that we've used HTML file extension for each of these files, excluding the CSS file, which has a different extension. And we did that because we wanted an easy way of viewing our UI design in the browser without using or including the local hosts. And we're going to change each of them to PHP extension, excluding the CSS file, of course. So to do that, just right click on the one you want to change the extension. So right click on this one and then select rename. Just change the .html to .php. This logout page is going to take just few lines of code later for our section termination. So for now, it's like this because we've not created our section. So once we start writing code for our section, we're going to write just few lines of code in this page just to terminate our section. So before writing our database connection code, let's make sure our local server is running. Yeah, anyone you're using, just like I said earlier, you can use XAMPP if you want. So I'm just using WAMP because I want to use WAMP. So make sure your local server is running. Here are all services running. Just open up your browser and type localhost/phpMyAdmin and then hit enter. So as you can see here, our username is root. Our password is empty because I didn't set any password for this. The server choice here is MySQL, yeah, because we're using MySQL database for this project. And then just click on this place that says login to log into your phpMyAdmin. To create a new database, just click on new over here and then enter your database name in this box that says database name. I'm going to use Task Manager tutorial. And after that, click on create. So now we've created our database for this project. This thing you're seeing here, no tables found in this database, is because we are yet to create tables for this project. We're going to do that later. So coming back to our code, to create our database connection file, click on new file here and then give it a name. I'm going to use dbconnect.php for my database connection file. You can use anything, any name of your choice. We need a PHP opening and closing tag. So this PHP tag indicates that we're about to write a PHP code. So the PHP code is going to come in between this PHP tag. So the first thing we have here for our database connection is variable declaration. We're going to declare variables and then pass in the details for our database connection to those variables. Variable declaration. The first one here is the server name, and the value for this server name parameter is localhost. Then the second variable we have here is the username. And the username for database connection in local machine is usually root. Root is the value we are passing to the username parameter. The next one is the password. And our password is going to be set to empty because there was no password set for this. And then the last one is the database, which is the name of the database we are trying to connect to. So in our own case, the name of our database is Task Manager tutorial. The next thing is to connect to our database connection. So to connect to our database, we use a con object. So this con object is the actual object we're using to connect to the database. So we're going to pass in all these parameters using the PHP MySQL function. So the first one we're passing in here is a server name. So the second parameter we're passing in here is a username. And the third parameter we're passing is a password. And then the database becomes the last parameter. this creates a new connection to the database using the MySQL extension in PHP. So these are the parameters which we've assigned values to here. So using the if statements, so if there's an error while connecting to the database, you're going to use the die function to automatically stop this code. So this line is going to only happen if there is an error while connecting to the database that we encounter is going to be passed in here. Connection failed. Then we have connect. This is only going to happen if this is true, but if there is no error, you're not going to see anything on our screen. So let's just try it out. Copy paths, localhost. Since there is no error appearing on our screen, it means we've been successfully connected. And if I try to change anything here, okay, maybe I should remove just this L here and save. Then coming back to our browser, if I refresh here, you're going to see error here. Uncaught MySQL exception, unknown database task manager tutor where, because I removed L. I removed the L. We don't have any database with this name, so that's what you're seeing. And the actual parameter we tampered with was the database. You see, it's now bringing up the error, telling you where the mistake is coming from. So we just go back to this place we tampered with and then add the L and then come back to refresh. Once you refresh, everything will disappear. You see? So we've been successfully connected to our database. So the next step now is to create our tables. Going back to our PHP My Admin, we're going to create tables. You see, under this Task Manager tutorial, we don't have any tables here. So in this database, we'll be needing 3 tables. The first one is the users table, which is going to take up the user's information. The second table is the sections table for our task categorizations. And then the last table, which is the third table we'll be needing in this database, is tax table, which takes up the actual details for our tax. So using the SQL command here, create table. What is the name of the table we are creating? Users. And then we're going to pass in all the columns we'll be needing in our users table here. Then we'll click on go here. Yeah, MySQL return an empty result, whatever. So create whatever. It means we've successfully created our users table. So going back to this structure here, you're going to see one table, which is users we just created. Then we need 2 more tables. You click on users. So we have the ID column, username column, email column, password column, and then profile image column, which is said to be optional. So going back again to our SQL query, we need, so under this task manager tutorial, we're going to need another table. So we have create table, sections, our task categories. Then we'll pass in the columns we'll be needing in this sections table. So the first column is ID column with a data type of integer. Our second column in this sections table is name, which has a data type of varchar. So the next column now is the user ID. User ID with a data type of integer. So this ID here is a unique identifier for each section. The name of this section is required, so that's why you're seeing not null here. This user ID here links the section to the specific user in users table. The foreign key here ensures that a section belongs to a valid user. So if the user is deleted, their sections are also deleted. Click on go to create the table. Yeah, we just created the second table. And then going back to this structure here, you see we now have two tables in this database. In our tax manager tutorial database, we have two tables here. This was the first one we created, which is the users table. Then this, which is the sections table. So we're left with the tax table. Then back to our SQL, using our SQL command. So here we have create table, task, and then we're going to pass in the column we'll be needing for this tax table. The first one is the ID column with the data type of integer. So the second column is the user ID column. Then we have the section ID column. So this particular one is pointing to the users table, and this particular one is pointing to the sections table. The next one is the title, that is title of our task title with the data type of varchar. The next column is description, that is our task description. So the data type here is text, and then default is set to null, which makes it optional. The next column is the due date. The date the tax is supposed to be due is meant to be due. Due date column with the data type of dates. Foreign key. We have two foreign keys in this table. We have the user ID as foreign key to that is referencing to the users table, and then we have the section and ID as foreign key in this table that is referencing to the sections table. So over here, click on go. Okay, we just created our tax table. Going back to structure, you're going to see we now have three tables in our tax manager tutorial database. So we have the section table, we have the tax table, we have the users table, which we created first. This is for the tax, and then this is for the section. So I think we're going to wrap this video here. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in our next video where we'll start writing our sign-up form, code for our sign-up form, our login form, and the rest of the code. Thanks a lot for watching.